Oh, there it
Welcome
is.
everyone to the All Things Bucs podcast. I'm your co-host Cory Hayes. You can follow me on Twitter at Cory_Hayes407.
It's co-host CJ. Follow me at Cory J863.
And today we are doing our first ever live YouTube podcast. So to people tuning in right now, what's up everybody? As you can see, CJ has a Christmas tree behind him. CJ's in the festive mood. It's Christmas time, so CJ is flexing his guns for everybody that's tuned in right now. And I'm just hanging out in my apartment. It's a Saturday afternoon. It's a good time right now. It's the holiday season, and of course we have Bucs football left this season. So let's go ahead and talk about our Bucs. Of course, I have on the Mike Evans 13 jersey, and CJ has on the J. Boo jersey. So, of course, we are always repping our Buccaneers. And let's go ahead and talk about our people. So, first things first, I'm back. I was not on the recap podcast for the Ravens game as I was sick from that Baltimore weather. It was very cold in Baltimore. It was nonstop raining the whole weekend. It was windy, and you could tell by the play on the field, the Buccaneers and the Ravens, it was an ugly game. And shout out to Kellen for stepping in for me with CJ on that podcast. It was a very good podcast. So if you have not listened to it, go ahead and listen to that podcast and hear what the fellas had to say about that Ravens game. Before we talk about the Cowboys game, I want to go ahead and hop in and talk about the Ravens game for a little bit, if you let me, CJ. It's okay. You want to let me talk about it? Okay, so I'm going to talk about this game for a little bit. So the Ravens game, it was a wet field, ugly conditions, and the players were trying to adjust to the conditions of the field, and it wasn't very good. You could tell that it was affecting the way that they were playing. Jameis Winston was forcing some of his passes. Players were dropping passes that they don't normally drop. Chris Godwin had a shoe-in touchdown on a slant on that first drive. He dropped it. I don't know if it was just him playing like that or if it was just him dropping the ball, but Chris Godwin dropped the pass, and it just went downhill from there. Special teams, after our first touchdown, the extra point goes off of Anger's face mask, and it goes backwards. And the Buccaneers are forced to go and chase the defense of the Ravens down the field to avoid them getting 2 points. So it was ugly from the beginning of the game. I had Bucs fans around me during the game, so that was a positive. I had 2 Bucs fans to the left of me, had 3 Bucs fans to the right of me in the first row in the end zone. So it was a nice little touch to see Bucs fans out there with me. There was a lot of red and black spread throughout the stadium, though, so that was also nice to see. The crew that I was with for the weekend, it was fun to hang out with all of them. So I got to hang out with another CJ up there who lives in the Baltimore area. Got to hang out with Marlon. Shout out to Wildcat. That was a fun weekend. We went to Jimmy's Seafood, had a good time. The seafood was amazing. So if you're ever in Baltimore, go to Jimmy's Seafood. There's a reason it's world famous. It is amazing. The crab cakes are about 8 pounds. They're huge. It was so good. I enjoyed my weekend in Baltimore. But that's pretty much all I got to say about Baltimore. If you're ever there, go to Jimmy's Seafood and try and enjoy the city. During the winter, it's not great, but it's still a nice city to go to. So don't be scared of that, oh, they have a lot of crime. Nah, they don't got that much crime. So go ahead and enjoy it if you're ever up in that area. And let's go ahead and talk about the Cowboys a bit. The Cowboys and the Bucs are playing, obviously, tomorrow at 1 p.m., 12 o'clock in the Cowboys time zone over in Jerry's World. Jerry's World is amazing. It's a nice stadium. And the last time the Buccaneers played there 2 years ago, we were defeated. That was a game where we were on our 5-game win streak in 2016. We went in there. We got bumped to the Sunday Night Football game. And unfortunately, the Buccaneers did not come out on top. So we're looking for a little bit of revenge. Cowboys are sitting at 8-6 right now. They are a shoo-in to the playoffs at this moment. But the Eagles and the Redskins are right on their tails. The Redskins are 1 game behind them, and the Eagles are 2 games behind them. So we'll see what happens with them. But the Buccaneers right now are looking to play spoiler for the playoffs in terms of the Cowboys' playoffs hopes. What the hell? What the fuck? What the hell? What the hell's going on here? Oh boy.
Let's see if this works. Cory, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I hear you now. I was trying to figure out if it was on my end. I don't know what was going on, but sorry to our viewers. There was a little technical difficulty between us as it is our first time. But so what were you speaking on since I could not hear you?
Just about the matchup. So with the Cowboys, they're closing out this season, trying to wrap up their division. The Eagles are actually hot on their tail and could have an opportunity to steal it from them. So with them losing in that shutout to the Indianapolis Colts last week, now they're really motivated to win this game in front of their home crowd and not get spoiled by the Buccaneers coming in and looking to derail them going into the playoffs. So we've been getting a lot of upset alerts from different analysts. Skip Bayless picking the Buccaneers to beat the
Skip
Cowboys.
Bayless is a known Cowboy fan, so I don't know what's going on there. He said that last week, like you said, they lost 23-0 to the Colts. It looks like the Cowboys are going downhill in his mind. Mm-hmm. But, of course, nobody ever takes Skip Bayless serious. So I'm not sure if I would take his word on it, but I have seen other analysts as well picking the Buccaneers in an upset. So that's my mindset right now. The Buccaneers are going in to upset these Cowboys tomorrow, and I would love to see it.
Oh, yeah, I would definitely love to see it because I'm still upset about that loss 2 years ago when Ezekiel jumping into the Salvation Army pot.
Yeah, when they didn't fine him for that, but they fined him this year when they did it.
Yeah, he donates money into it, and he gets fined for donating money into the Salvation Army. The NFL and their celebration rules are something interesting. But yeah, it should be a good contest, man. I'm really looking forward to watching this game tomorrow.
We gotta get pressure on Dak Prescott because Dak Prescott is an average quarterback. Dak Prescott is not an elite quarterback. Dak Prescott is not a good quarterback. He's an average quarterback in my eyes. Dak Prescott, they left Tony Romo because they thought they had the future in Dak Prescott. Well, Dak Prescott has been exposed plenty because if he doesn't have his big-time offensive line in front of him, his all-pro offensive lineman, then he's an issue. He's an issue, and it's shown some games this season that Dak Prescott is a weakness. And I've talked to Cowboys fans, and Cowboys fans themselves think that Dak Prescott is a weakness in that offense.
Well, with Dak, I don't fully think he can make all the throws and read a defense fully. Once he has that running game, Zeke's running hard, and the receivers are making plays, getting yards after the catch, I think he's a great quarterback for getting the job done that way. But if it came down to him winning the game, I wouldn't believe in him pulling an Aaron Rodgers or pulling a Tom Brady to win the game for the Dallas Cowboys.
Absolutely
so what
not.
we have to do is to put the game in his hand to give us an opportunity to win the game. So we'll need to shut down Ezekiel, and not only shut down Ezekiel, but also Amari Cooper, because now they have two big-time threats on the outside and running the ball between the tackles. But Zeke as well, he catches the ball out of the backfield. So he's going to have I predict he's going to have a big day because we've had trouble with running backs to catch the ball out the backfield.
The Buccaneers have faced many dual threat running backs. They faced Christian McCaffrey. They faced Alvin Kamara.
Joe Mixon.
Yeah, they faced plenty this year, dual threat running backs, and they've torn us apart. So I'm looking to Zeke having over 120 all-purpose yards against us like the rest of the running backs have.
How many all-purpose yards?
120.
120?
Yeah. I don't think he's going to run for as many as people think. I don't think he's going to rush for over 100 because Tampa Bay has not given up many 100-yard rushers this year. Of course, last week we gave up 95 to Lamar Jackson, and then we got torn up by the rest of their running game because he only threw for 131 yards. But the Buccaneers, for the most part this season, have been stout in the run game. And coming on this at the end of the season has been Vita Vea. Vita Vea has been coming on big time in the run game and in the pass game. And it's shown. It's been great for us. The Vita Vea, the people have said, oh, he's a bust, he's a bust. Well, coming on late, he's shown his potential. He's shown why they picked him when they traded back in the first round.
Yeah, he's been killing it. And last week, arguably, was his best game.
9 tackles.
He was
9
making
tackles
plays.
last week.
9 tackles at the defensive tackle spot. You are active playing defense at defensive.
They were running the ball. They ran the ball 49 times. So, of course, he's going to be able to get some tackles in there. And they tried to run it the majority of the time up the middle on him, and it didn't work up the middle. So they would break runs out to the outside, and that's where they did most of their damage last week. So our defense against this Cowboys offense is going to have to stop the run outside and keep it between the tackles because our defense between the tackles is a lot better than our defense outside of the tackles.
I completely agree. And speaking back on the game against the Ravens, Lamar Jackson, once he breaks contain, it's really hard for any defense to stop that because it's a broken play. It's not like it's a designed run for him to drop back and then just run to the outside. So it's people in coverage and they're trying to cover their man, and here goes Lamar Jackson, skirt, went up the sideline on that broken play. So it was a very difficult matchup, especially in the rain. People are slipping, and
you saw it all over the game last week.
You saw it.
Jerry's World, you're not going to see that this week. It's going to be nice conditions for the game. So we will have no excuses weather-wise because the past 2 weeks we've had excuses weather-wise. This week, there's no excuse. So we better come to play against this team who right now is in the playoffs if they started today.
Yeah, and with Dak Prescott as well. Dak uses his legs to create plays on the run, and he gains his rushing yards as well. So we'll have to have someone looking at him to slow him down.
We do need a spy, whether it's a safety or a linebacker. Somebody needs to spy him because last week against the Ravens, nobody was spying Lamar Jackson. And that's why, even though you mentioned on broken plays, he was getting 20, 30 yards because nobody was there to stop him. And as you mentioned, Dak Prescott gets some yards on the ground. I'd like to see Jameis Winston get some yards on the ground as well. Use his size to his advantage. Use those legs. The man is 6'5". He's got some wheels if he gets out in the open field. So just use him to his advantage, which is his size. He may not be the fastest quarterback that you're ever going to see.
Oh, he is definitely not the fastest.
You saw in the 40-yard dash, he ain't the fastest quarterback you ever going to see, but he has some wheels when he does get in the open field, and he can make people miss. So just use him that way. Do the run-pass option, man. Jameis Winston thrives on that play action or on the rollout, so we need to use him more in that type of game.
Yeah, his accuracy on the run this season has been off the charts.
Number one in the league.
Yeah, that play last week with the footwork. What they say, slow feet don't eat. Man, he was move back up, step to the side on the run.
The one where he threw it deep to Evans. The one where he threw deep to Mike Evans, that was an absolute beauty. I was sitting in the stands like, oh, boy, here we go with the offensive line. And he made about three defensive linemen miss. He stepped up to the left, threw it down to Mike Evans deep, and it resulted in a big gain. It would have been a touchdown had the defender not grabbed Mike Evans' face mask. So that probably would have been the number one play that Jameis Winston has ever made in the Buccaneers uniform had it been a touchdown.
It reminded me of that Chicago Black play a few years ago. When he was
where he ran all the way to the end zone and then scrambled for his life and then threw off his back foot and still hit Evans for about a 50-yard gain.
Yeah, so Mike Evans and Jameis on scramble drills are one of the best in the league, man.
On the broken plays, Mike just keeps going and Jameis somehow finds him.
Yeah, we should definitely see that on Sunday. As well, because this Cowboys defense, their pass rush,
their front seven is great. And last week the Colts exploited them, so hopefully the Buccaneers will study what the Colts did last week and put it to our advantage this week.
Now we don't have the physical offensive line like.
We don't have the Quentin Nelson on.
We don't have Quentin Nelson. I mean, we have Ali Marpet now.
Remember, Ali Marpet's on the opposite side of Quentin Nelson, so we're gonna have to run to the side that Ali Marpet is on. We can't run to the opposite side because we know our favorite person's on that side. Our favorite person is on that side.
Who shall not be named.
Yep, our favorite person.
We're not doing that today.
Nope, we can't run to that side. We have to run.
It's been a great day so far. I don't want to talk about him.
Yeah, we can't talk about him, but yeah, we just need to utilize our strong side of the offensive line, whether it's Ali Marpet or Ryan Jensen's aggressiveness. Just run between those two, and you'll make magic. You will make magic.
Okay, so let's break down what we're going to see from the Dallas Cowboys offensively. What to look for, and then we'll break down also our defensive matchup against them. So what are you seeing from their offensive standpoint and their philosophy?
I see Jerry Jones made a great investment trading a first-round pick to Oakland for Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper is their top receiver. They brought in Allen Hurns in the offseason to be their number one receiver, but that, of course, was not working, so they brought in Amari Cooper. And since Amari Cooper has arrived in Dallas, his career has been revived. He has brought a new flavor to that Cowboys offense. So we are going to have to put our best defender on Amari Cooper wherever he is because Amari Cooper can do damage.
Right. Who is our best defender?
That's a good question.
Healthy, but Brent Grimes has been buns all year.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has. I'd put Carlton Davis on him. Carlton Davis has some slip-ups because he is a rookie, but he's been coming on strong. I'd still put Carlton Davis on him because of that 6'3" size that he has. Carlton Davis is the guy that I would have shadow Amari Cooper. And as for the other offensive weapons that they have Cole Beasley, who, in my eyes, is the Adam Humphries to that offense. They like to use Cole Beasley in the slot a lot, and it shows when he gets the 10, 15-yard gains down the field. Cole Beasley will be the X factor for their offense. We're going to have to watch that shifty white guy in the open field.
Hey, we had a shifty white guy take us out with that Panthers game. So we'll definitely have to pay attention to them. They have weapons, man. They have weapons on their offense. And Dak Prescott, he does distribute the ball to the different level. He gives people opportunities to go out there and make plays. The last time we played, he set the Cowboy record for most completions consecutively in that game. And so I don't expect them to be able to get that high of a completion percentage this upcoming game. I expect us to get some pressure on Dak, JPP, Villa, Jared McCoy, all those guys are healthy.
He's been pretty much absent the last 2 games, so I expect him to at least get 1 sack in this game. I expect him and Gerald McCoy as leaders to get that defensive line together and get pressure on Dak, because if you get pressure on Dak, it has shown in the history of him being the Cowboys quarterback that he will make mistakes.
Yep. And my boy Cory Nassib. He's gonna come make plays too.
I need some financial advice. I need some financial advice on how to
I need it too.
I need some financial advice on how to get to the NFL and get some sacks on the quarterback, because somehow he's putting that extra money that he's making to his advantage on the field.
He really is. It's about them dividends. Get paid the dividends, man.
He's been probably one of 2 greatest pickups by Jason Light since he's been our general manager. Carl Nassib and JPP. Those are the two, in my opinion, the 2 best pickups that Jason Light has done, whether by trade or whether by waivers. Those 2, and they've shown on the field this year. They both have had a huge impact to our defense, and there's a reason we're not in the bottom in terms of sacks anymore, because of those 2.
I completely agree. Those guys have completely helped transform this defensive line and bring a little fire and nasty to the defensive line, and along with Jared McCoy, who's already been here, who's been a staple in our defense, and with Villa starting to come along. I like this unit. I like this unit together. I like them working together to create pressure and to wreak havoc, pun intended. And they should be able to get some pressure on Dak Prescott. There will be opportunity to get some sacks or create a turnover with a script sack. So watch that matchup. Watching the game, look for that matchup.
Like I said, they've had all-pro offensive linemen on their line, so our D-line is going to have to step up big against them. Vita Vea last week went up against 2 all-pro offensive linemen, and he dominated them. He split between them. He made Lamar Jackson make different plays because he's got the size. He's, 350 pounds? The man is a monster, and there's a reason they call him Maui from Moana, because he is an absolute monster. And I would love to see more of him getting in the backfield and disrupting the quarterback on pass plays, because they say he's just a run guy. Well, last week and the week before, it showed me that he can get in there and disrupt the passing game as well.
I'm chewing my pie. Hold on. I'm on lunch break, guys. I'm working today.
He's on the clock, so we wanted to knock out this podcast a little bit. So,
but yeah, Villa showed in college he could apply pressure in passing situations. Because of his baby Hulk-like strength, we call him the Hulk nephew. Because of that strength, he's able to push the pocket on run plays and disrupt any run plays coming up the middle, allowing the linebackers to get free. That's why a lot of the time we talk about him not showing up on the stat sheet, because his job is
disrupting
the linebackers to come make the plays, and he does that consistently. Now, when he gets to the next level, where he's been showing that improvement is that once he pushes
his speed, speed rush,
he's able to make the play as well and stop the running back on his own. The next element in his game will be to create that push on passing downs and to get some sacks and to create that pressure. So I think that's coming with him learning the game. By year 2 or 3, he'll be one of the best defensive tackles in the NFL.
Oh, I think so. I think so as well. I think he's going to be huge for our defense in the years to come. Our defense is building something special right now. I would like to keep all of our key components that are in this defense. So we'll see coming in the offseason what our team does about the defense. And speaking on the defense, we were missing a key linebacker last week due to the birth of his baby. So congratulations to Adarius Taylor on the birth of his healthy baby. But now Adarius Taylor is rejoining the team to come and play in this Cowboys game. We are going to need him because last week Riley Bullock got exposed. He got exposed, and that's how the Ravens got the majority of their rushing yards, is went right at Riley. Riley got ran over a few times. He got ran over. Gus Edwards ran him over on his route to the touchdown. So it was like Riley is okay. He's decent at best. But Adarius Taylor
He's not the starter.
Big time. No, he's not a starter. He's a rotational player. Adarius Taylor is levels ahead of him, and I'm glad that he will be back with our team this week. People may not like the way Adarius Taylor plays, but Adarius Taylor is key to us in the fact that he can come in and make plays any portion of the game because there's no Quan Alexander, there's no Kendall Beckwith. He's that guy that'll come in and step in and still make the plays when they are not there.
Yeah, next man up, and he stepped in finally for this defense. So look for him to make some plays, and then also our young secondary. They've been out there making plays. I wish at this point in the season they give those guys more opportunity over Brent Grimes, because Brent Grimes, I've seen him whiff on the run game.
I'd like to see Ryan Smith start instead of Brent Grimes.
Ryan Smith, MJ Stewart. Get those young guys in, because
MJ hasn't really done anything as well on the outside. MJ's done more damage inside than he's done outside. So I'd like to see Ryan Smith out there playing, because Brent Grimes, these last 2 games, all he's doing is collecting the money to retirement. So it's like, give our young guys a chance so that we can build on the future, because that's what we're doing. We're sitting at 5-9 right now. We need to build on our future, and these 2 games ahead of us are huge to build on our future.
I'm going to transition to building on the future to talk about the Buccaneer offense and what building on the future, being that we're out of the playoffs, what we need to see from our offense. So we know Jameis has been playing well. Jameis will be brought back for his 5th year.
Absolutely.
For his contract. Jameis, I believe with the right coaching staff, will be able to take that next step. And I think he's going to have a really good game on Sunday. I know he remembers the game from 2 years ago, because we have an opportunity to win that game. It's just, what's his name? Goslin Chirless? Whatever his name was, he got so
lit
bad.
Up by Tank Lawrence.
I've never seen a defensive end dominate a tackle.
Tank Lawrence dominated the hell out of him all game long. And now it was Tank Lawrence built on that, because right now he is one of the top defensive ends in the NFL. So
they had that man looking like Khalil Mack in the game.
He was in the backfield almost every play that game. Jameis was running for his life, and we should have won that game. We had our chances, but like you said, Gosler Chirilis was the one who cost us that game.
Yeah, and it literally came down to the end of the game. So I'm not expecting the game to go how it went 2 years ago. What I'm
expecting a close game.
Oh yeah, I think it'll be a couple scores.
Some Bucs fans that I've talked to are expecting a blowout. The Cowboys are not the type of team that will blow somebody out. The Cowboys will keep it close, or they will get blown out themselves. So it's going to be one of those types of games. Either we are going to win a close one, or we are going to blow them out, because I'm not taking an L in this game. We are going to win this game against the Cowboys.
Well, Corey, you're not at the game, so we have a great chance of winning.
Hey!
On Sunday, we got a great chance of winning if you're not in attendance.
That damn win-loss record. Oh, boy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but I would like to see the Bucs continue to establish the run. The Colts,
stop going away from Peyton Barber.
Get Peyton Barber, and not even Peyton Barber. Get Ronald Jones some carries, man.
Well, when they tried, he looked like he was scared last week against the Ravens, and I was kind of upset sitting in the stands.
One carry.
I was watching him. Anytime he was on the field, though, he looked like he was out of it. He was scared. He wasn't ready to play. So I don't know if it's being at the NFL level, or if it's just his mind isn't right. I want to see Ronald Jones succeed just as much as everybody else does, but it just seems something is off with him. Does he not know the playbook? Does he not know what we're doing? When he did catch that screen pass from Jameis, he looked like a deer with a head cut and a chicken with his head cut.
Why are we throwing him screen passes? Why are we?
That's a good question. Why are we throwing to somebody that if you watch his tape, he's not the best catcher out of the backfield? So why are we doing it?
It's a raining game. It's a rainy game. Why put the ball in his hand from a zone read. Give him some carries. The only person who got another carry outside of Peyton Barber last week in a rainy game where you should be running the football was Jameis Winston because he had to scramble.
Yep.
Like, that made no sense. The Baltimore Ravens, they need to take a page out of the Baltimore Ravens philosophy because they had multiple running backs coming in, running the football,
running all over us,
off their young quarterback, controlling time of possession, wearing down the defense. And after you wear down the defense, that's when you're going to get the big plays. That's when the good things happen because you committed to actually running the football. Not once it's working a little bit, but let's let Jameis throw for 40 times in a rainy game. Like, that makes no sense. It makes no sense as a coach. This is why Dirk Cutter is out of here, because his coaching, it seems like once he gets pass happy, he sticks with it. And that's what we do not need to see.
We don't need to be pass happy. This game's conditions look like they're going to be good conditions, like I said. So it will be good to see Jameis air the ball out, but not air the ball out 40 to 50 times a game. We need that consistency in the run game, like you said. Let's give these young guys the chance to show that they can be running backs of the future. I see fans already mocking the Buccaneers a running back. Well, we don't need a damn running back. We need an offensive line that'll block for the running backs because our running backs have shown that they can run the ball, but we just need holes to run through. It's not the fact that we need a running back in a running game. We need an offensive line that is consistent.
Yep. And with our offense going against the Cowboys defense, their defense has been solid for them this season. Let me go to the stats real quick here.
They're one of the best. They're one of the best in the league.
Yeah, they've been putting up some really good numbers. Defensively, let's go. This is the stats. Actually, I got the stats put up for the individual players. I need the team stats.
What are you trying to find? The run game?
Yeah, what their rank is.
Like I said, they have one of the best front sevens in the NFL. So they are able to stop the run. They've got LVE, Van Der Esch. I had never heard of him until this year. I know he came out of Boise State. My friend is a Cowboys fan, so he talks about him all the time. I'm like, what the hell's an LVE? Then I look and Lander Van Der Esch or whatever, Leighton Van Der Esch, or whatever his name is, he's making big plays for them. He has come in and replaced Sean Lee. So they have playmakers on their defense, on that front seven especially.
Yeah, total yardage. So here's the numbers. Total yardage, they're fifth in the league in net total yards given up to opponents. They are allowing only 224 passing yards per game and 93 rushing yards per game. So their defense is solid. I think we can still exploit them because, as Jameis has proven, even if it's a tough defense, I've seen him do good things against some of the best NFL defenses. So I'm not too worried about our opportunities. I think they will be there to take some shots. Meat Jacks will be playing, so that's
will be playing
the offense. I know a lot of Bucs fans are like, oh, let's just get Deshaun out of town. Like,
get him out of here. He did just sell his Tampa mansion. That means absolutely nothing. That means nothing in terms of football right now. That just means he sold his house. Maybe he's going for another house or just to rent something. We don't know what's going on. I just want to see Deshaun Jackson step on the field these last two games and produce and not be a crybaby and go say, oh, it's all about me, me, me. No, we need you to produce for this team. So it's team, not me, me, me.
I completely agree. I think he will go out there and do that. Hopefully, we can get some Jameis connections with Deshaun while he's on the field. Mike Evans, need him to do well. Selfishly, needs him to break the record all time.
For football purposes.
Look here, man. I'm in the championship. When you out here trying to win a championship, you need your players to perform. My first round pick needs to.
If we're talking that, I need Peyton Barber to perform. All right. Peyton Barber.
I'm not even playing him this week. Actually, I don't think I'm going to play him. It's crazy, but Derrick Henry has been saving the team right now. So
for 2 weeks, but let's get back to talking about our offense a bit before we wrap this thing up. So our offense, we've seen the last 2 weeks, Chris Godwin has struggled with drops. I think it may be the field conditions that have affected his game. It has to be, because this is not the same Chris Godwin we've seen all season long. It's not the same Chris Godwin that was coming along at the end of last season. So people are talking about, oh, we need Deshaun Jackson because Chris Godwin has not stepped up. Well, we played in shitty field conditions the last 2 weeks. The players are not wearing gloves, so it is kind of hard to catch the ball when you're barehanded with the wet ball. I know. I played tight end. I know exactly how that is to play with no gloves on a bare ball with water all over it. It is hard. So people got to give Chris Godwin a break. I think that his break will come this week in Jerry World.
Yeah, he should have a bounce back game. We'll challenge him. We'll call him out this week. Bucs fans, call out Chris Godwin. At him on Twitter. Let him know we believe in him.
CG12 on Twitter.
And to ball out this Sunday. But let Mike Evans catch all the touchdowns.
Yeah, so we need our offense to produce big time this week because, like you said, they only give up 200-something passing yards per game. I think Jameis will eclipse that number. Jameis will go for 300. Over 300 yards this
That's
week.
My prediction. I'm letting y'all know. 300.
He's going for like 330 yards, 2 touchdowns. He will throw an interception to them. So I'm gonna say it right now. Jameis, nobody's perfect, so Jameis will throw an interception in this game. So that's my prediction for Jameis.
We're getting buys with Jameis, man. We're gonna get buys.
He still throws picks. You saw last week he threw a pick to Mike Evans, so he still throws interceptions. He's not perfect.
It's a rainy game. He's
not perfect. I love Jameis, but he's not perfect. So, all right, so that's what I think. The offense will have a bounce-back game as they didn't have a great game last week against the Ravens, nor the week before against the Saints in the second half. So the offense will bounce back this week in a big way, and they will have the Cowboys defense on their heels.
Just a lot of us were still playing fantasy, the weekly fantasy. Person to really pick up for this game is Adam Humphries, because there will be opportunities in the slot.
Absolutely.
Especially going against a cover 2 type defense. So there will be plenty of opportunities for Adam Humphries to make plays.
Absolutely.
So if you have a third flex option, Adam Humphries will be a great pickup going into this game.
Adam Humphries and Cole Beasley will be the X factors in this game. Mm-hmm. And before we wrap it up, let's go ahead and give our keys to victory. My key to victory in this game: pressure on Dak Prescott. Get in his head, make him think that, oh, I don't have the running game to help me. I'm going to have to pass the ball. Get in his head, and once we do that, we're winning the game. And, of course, turnover battle again. We win the turnover battle, more than likely we're going to win the game. That has not been the case the past 2 weeks. We have actually won the turnover battle in both games, but we lost the game. So we need to win it, and we need to make a statement on offense, and we will win this game.
Yeah, my keys to victory will be game management. This will come down to Jameis and Coach Cutter or Coach Todd Monken, who's ever calling the plays. We need this game to be managed, put ourselves in position to score, put them in position where they have to do long drives. So game management will be key. And then Jameis Winston as well, making sure that he's making good decisions. He will have to take a lot of the checkdowns because they will take away the deep passes. So there will be opportunities there for guys to get yards after catch and to make plays. That's why I say Adam Humphries is a great candidate to pick up for your fantasy purposes, weekly fantasy. And so if Jameis can do that, be patient, we have a great opportunity to go in there and steal this game in Dallas.
I 100% agree with you, CJ. And on that note, we're going to go ahead and wrap up the Cowboys preview edition of the podcast. I am your co-host, Corey Hayes. Again, you could follow me on Twitter at Corey_Hayes407.
Co-host CJ, follow me on Twitter, CoreyJ863.
Go ahead and follow All Things Bucs on Twitter at All Things TB Bucs. Go ahead and follow our podcast page at ATB Podcast _ on Twitter. I'm on there a lot, so you can interact with me. I will be watching the game live on TV as the Redskins play today. Since I'm in Virginia, the Cowboys will be on TV tomorrow on my cable, so I will be watching live and tweeting live with everybody. So you can go ahead and interact with me tomorrow and let me know your thoughts on how we're doing in the game along with my thoughts. And that's all I got to say this podcast. on our first ever live edition of the podcast. Thank you all for tuning in. Go Bucs.
Go Bucs. And let us know on Twitter, on Facebook, if you guys would like us to do more live podcasts. I think this may be better than doing the regular podcast, but
this has been a good podcast. But of course, we had our little hiccup with Google Hangout. It's our first one, but other than that, it's been a great podcast. So thank you all for tuning in. I really enjoyed it. I know CJ enjoyed it as well. Again, go Bucs.
Go Bucs.